All right, let's call this meeting to order. It's a regular meeting for the Millwood Historic Preservation Commission for Thursday, November 17th, 2022. Let the records show that in attendance, we have all the commissioners save for Alex tonight. So we have an opportunity to review the minutes that were in the packet. We've got 2 months for September as well as October. So I'd like to take a chance or take some time, look those over, and then entertain a motion to accept them. One thing I noticed on the September minutes was it said at the page 2, our next meeting would be Thursday, November 16th. Oh. So that was the only correction I saw that would need to be made.
That was on September?
Yes.
I see. Page 3.
Oh. So it really would have been October 20th.
Correct.
Okay.
Other than that, you see anything? I move that we accept the minutes as written, except for that one change.
I second it.
All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions?
Abstain. I'm abstained. I don't have minutes.
All right, so we have one abstention, so passes. So we've accepted the minutes. All right. So next on the agenda would be approval of agenda. So if you've had a chance to look it over, if there are any other things that we wanted to discuss, we can include that now.
My packet just came with the agenda. I wasn't able to download the minutes before the meeting.
Okay.
Your packet didn't come with minutes?
I didn't check Alex's though. His might have come with the minutes, but mine just had the agenda.
Just one sheet of paper?
They have the 2 sheets of paper, yeah.
I move that we accept the agenda as written.
I second it.
All right, moved and seconded that we approve the agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It passes. All right, so first item of business would be status of the mural. So Christine, if you can give us an update on that.
So at our last meeting, we discussed me bringing forward to you the murals that were submitted by the high school students. So as just a reminder or recap, we did, I don't feel like my mic is working. Maybe it is. The city had met with the art teacher at West Valley High School about the potential of the students creating a mural for us. They weren't given a lot of direction, but what they were asked to avoid was anything political, and that the murals should either be tied to either Millwood's history or as a sort of entrance to the historic district. So I met with the teacher, the art teacher. Her name is Mrs. Honey. At the end of the school year, she came forward with 4 proposals. She told me at that time that she had presented this to her students as an extra project that they could take on, and she felt that we could get a better selection of options if we waited through the fall semester and she made it a assignment rather than just an extra opportunity. So I am just going to show you the 4 proposals that we got. I think that you'll see I don't know how to word this right. Some are maybe more appropriate than others. And then you guys can discuss, I can answer any questions that you have. So I'm just going to pop it up here on the screen.
So has she made an assignment for this fall?
As far as I know, she has. I have a reminder to email her after Thanksgiving.
So these are just the 4 that were.
These were 4 that were done last year as an optional project for the students. So these would just be first drafts, obviously, and then, you know, if we felt one, we would work with, obviously, to tweak it, I would think, because I don't really understand Spokane Mountain.
No such place.
And Green Bluff, I don't know how appropriate that is. So that was the first option.
Or even paper factory. It's not a factory.
Right.
But I like the idea.
I think the idea is good, and I think you can obviously see the talent in the, yeah, so,
And it, like the perspective, it's like it's a composition. It's a nice composition.
yeah.
What's the
Brewery
The brewery.
Oh, the red bar? Oh,
up,
brewery.
up here, yeah. So this one I think is,
Oh, look at that.
That's super cute.
I really think that this one obviously is very, I don't think the talent's in question. I do feel personally like this mirrors a little bit of what's on the side of the Hawk Shop a little too much, maybe, just in its style.
Okay.
I really like the mural on the side of the Hawk Shop, but I would like to see a variety of styles, I think, would be my preference.
What is the Hawk Shop?
On Trent.
On Trent,
On top, it's got a big
Oh, the
mural on
pawn
the side, yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
It's like that same postcard style.
I have a picture of that one, Barbara, we can look at.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would wanna fix the M a little bit, maybe twice as big, but MILLW, well, the W is probably okay,
I think there's,
but that can be fixed.
there's some editing.
That's just the continuity from one to the next is really interesting.
It is.
And there's a river and a train,
Yeah, I like how it goes from industrial to like the mountains.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the airport, paper, something.
I don't know if they meant to do this, but like the mill side is like the industrial side and the wood side is like nature.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny, yeah, I hadn't noticed that.
They did.
That has to be deliberate. I mean, it's too much effort.
I don't know, I like the kind of like, I like the cloud style, yeah, it has a lot of I like the elements.
That's amazing for a high school student.
I agree,
It is.
yeah.
It is.
I like the shading style, the hatch.
Mhm. So would this be in color? That would be our recommendation.
Yeah, I mean, I would hate to see it not
Yeah.
in color. Again, you know, like I said, I gave very little direction. So,
Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Huh.
this one, there's a handwritten note on the back that says the printer wasn't working and the purple, what appears purple here was really brown.
Some of the train.
Yeah, and the tree trunk, I think.
I like the purple, actually.
I know, I like this color, I like this color better. It's a little simple.
My thought was, for something that's supposed to be in a historic sort of area and feel, that this maybe wasn't really in keeping with that sort of theme. But, so I'll show you number 4. Number 4 was my favorite.
That's why I draw birds, though.
Right?
The clouds look a little like, kind of like.
Like your paper mill's exploding.
Yeah. Or that's the aroma that we get.
Dear.
Yeah.
And the pink sun is like a lost
I
opportunity.
do, I mean, that honestly is kind of my favorite part, is like this big pink sun, like, but everything else, yeah.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
So
Here we go.
I had a very similar reaction when I saw it. I really felt like, I don't know, this one just spoke to me, if you will. What the teacher told me is that this is a student who's quite accomplished and has been recognized, and that she actually did quite a bit of Millwood research before she put this together. So my reaction upon receiving them was, I was pretty impressed with the level of talent that I thought. I was pretty impressed. The teacher felt like there was more that could be presented. So,
So with the students that submitted these for, are they still students this fall?
this one is. I don't honestly know about the others.
It's very, what is it, like Sunday in the Park with George?
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it feels very appropriate.
It
Mhm.
sure does.
Yeah. It really captures the historic part, the color we want. You know,
When the teacher was here too, she said that the student had sort of attached, she had really, I can't remember who the individual was, but there was an individual from the history that I can't remember which one it was that she had really
Mr. Rosebush.
keyed into, might have been. I really love the old cars.
Yeah.
I think those are such a neat,
Well, it reminds me of one of the pic photos we have of Main Street back before, when it was two-lane dirt road. And the cars lined up in front of the paper mill, that was the parking area. I love the blue person standing back there with the other.
Yeah, I just love the whole kind of composition and like the perspective.
I'm not sure, baseball today, sorry, those bats are.
oh, that's what, so there had been a
that's
baseball
okay.
team
Yeah.
that played.
Yeah.
That was something that she had,
Empire paper,
yeah. So I was really impressed with this. I was impressed with the research
Yeah.
that she did and then just how that turned out, so. So that's the status, is that I have a reminder in my calendar to email the teacher after Thanksgiving and see what they've come up with through this fall semester, and then get those and see what we get. And
By our December meeting, we probably would have them,
hopefully, yeah, I would think so.
because the end of the semester is like now.
Yeah. So,
So
It'd be
this
nice
is
if they could
definitely-
display them.
Oh, invite them to the meeting and.
I could-
or-
we could do
Yeah,
that.
and have them on, yeah, have them on.
I think and I'm not sure how she was planning to do this. If she was planning to have each student work on one, or if she was going to put them in groups, I'm not sure. So it might be interesting after we see how many submissions there are, then maybe it would be something where we could invite them and they could talk about their process or their research or whatever.
Is there any way, Is there permission to speak? Is there
Granted.
any way, thanks, I was going to go anyway. So Christmas market is December 1st or 2nd? I just was wondering if there's any way that we could have like a display, let people vote. You know, let people vote, like, so it's not all up to us. You know what I'm saying?
Who's choosing it?
No, the city council will have the final
Okay.
approval.
But that would be cool to get votes from the public, people at the Christmas market, if possible, just to have like rotating, you know,
We
like,
could, RTV.
Yeah,
little screen we
yeah.
have.
and then just have people vote on it, just to see. I mean, we don't have to
Yeah.
necessarily be influenced by that, although it is a vote.
Even if I could, so I think the answer to your question is yes. It may not be on the screen. It might be something more where I print them out big and then maybe people could tally mark
Yeah.
or sticker. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'll follow up with her and maybe I'll just send her an email tomorrow and just say how many should we be expecting and we'll see what she says. So, that's where we're at.
And not that we're not delighted with the submission so far, but we just are excited to see more.
Yeah.
Well, and this one, I'd be interested to see like what the large scale version of this would be.
Mm-hmm.
If like the faces would still be kind of like blotches, or if they'd be more
Defined.
defined, yeah.
Okay. You know, the other thing too is, although this has, you know, been presented to them in sort of a mural, you know, I don't think there's any reason why we couldn't look at other ways. You know, maybe one does get selected for a mural, but maybe there are other options that would be appropriate for other, I don't want to plagiarize anyone else's idea, but just as a, for instance, like the history enthusiast calendar, you know, maybe we could do something with these that would, something like that. So,
That'd be nice.
yeah.
It's unfortunate that no one does postcards anymore.
I was gonna say postcards too.
Yeah,
Postcards
or-
and stickers, water bottle stickers is.
So, okay. So that's where we're at. I will report back next month.
Awesome. Well, no, those are great, great choices and examples. It'd be fun to see more if they can get that. And then we'll just continue conversations too about where the mural might be and how it might be affixed to a building. We'll just keep that in our minds. But all right. Next is long-range planning. And some of the things that we talked about at the last meeting, you know, as we were looking at what should our action or work plan be for 2023 and beyond. So we were just making a list. Some of the things that we put on the list was, you know, engaging high school students. I think that was your idea. It's great. This is one way that we're doing that. But also, if we could identify tasks for a high school student, then it would be easier for us to invite them to maybe serve on the commission. But we just didn't want them to serve in the commission and then not have anything meaningful work to do. So we were thinking about ways that, you know, we could identify commission, historic preservation related swag that could help us research and design, that we could, you know, hand out at events to raise awareness about us. Putting together an interactive display at our outreach tables. That was Barbara's idea, of like a magnets where you're moving architectural features and designing a, you know, a building on the outside.
I think too, on that project in particular, I had mentioned, and I think now that you've seen what they're capable of, maybe that magnetic activity, but with pieces worked on by an art student might, I mean, you know, they could draw the different windows or something. I don't know. I think we should consider that, because now that we see what they are capable of.
Or the one that was the letters, Millwood, with the things inside, that could be a coloring sheet.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
You
a good
know,
idea.
so there'd be ways to recognize and honor those students and not yeah, beyond the mural itself. But, yeah, helping us illustrate the resource guide, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Maybe helping with video editing, because another thing that we talked about was taking the 3 minutes videos that Tribe did, but also how to get those shorter into like 15-second things that we could push out in social media. And having someone with those editing skills and that social media background, like teenagers, that could be something that they could do as well. And then if anybody had like, GIS or could work with Millwood staff to put together an interactive map that have the centennial properties that we hope to encourage people to get their stickers and find out their addresses, and then that could be a map that could be on the website, and then people could go do walking tours and things like that. So those are some of the tasks that we were thinking about having long-term for the commission, and ways that we can involve, younger people or other people too, to help us with these. So any other thoughts that we might want to add to this list, or?
Add to the long-term list, or the list specific to the high school student?
Either, both.
I would like to add like some sort of signage marking the historic district. I think that's important to get up a physical recognition, so that when people are in it, they are aware that they're in it.
No, that's great. I know that probably at the state level, for the, I don't know if they have certain templates that they might use in other communities for National Register historic districts or state historic districts, but might be able to kind of borrow an idea of that and customize it to be the Millwood Historic District.
Are we recognized at the state level as a historic district?
Well, we're on a state register. I'm not sure if officially it's a historic district, though. But definitely national.
Oh, definitely national, okay.
Yep.
So does that mean that we would be using their sign then, their design?
Not necessarily, but if we wanted to see what types of signs that might already be out there, we could, and because we only have 2 properties on our local register, we might consider, just using the national register or national recognition for our historic district.
Isn't that Rosebush House on the state, Washington State?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they're different shapes, like I think that one's an oval, and there's one that's national is a rectangle, and so. I'm not sure that's what you mean by template, but I think so. I think we could find it, we could find something,
Find a look.
yeah.
And then it would be recognized like on the streets or the blocks that would go into the district that people would be walking or driving into to see that.
Like just in the sidewalk, you think?
I think they have like little brown ones with like white writing, or like kind of little street signs, and it's just like now entering or welcome to the Millwood
Yeah.
Historic District. I know like I think Spirit Lake, Idaho has them. Like they're just little historic
Oh,
markers.
that. Yeah.
Something like this?
Yeah, like, yeah, and it'll even say like sometimes on the street signs, so like the street signs turn to brown in the historic districts.
Yes.
Or like, see how that one's like a little topper? So even like if we did it like on the street sign, so that it marked where the historic district was.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's
I
really
like
Yeah.
that idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that castle we went up there.
But having it on the street sign, then you don't need to put in another post and you don't need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
all
right.
Well, and because you wouldn't have to do all that, you could probably have way more of them
Mhm.
than, okay.
Yeah, that's, I wonder how much those are. It's funny.
It's long term, that's why it's long term.
Maybe it's not that
I don't think,
expensive.
Well, and maybe you start, use some a year,
Yeah.
you know, 4 or 5 a
Like
year.
do the borders and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, it's something we definitely could put on a long-term or even a short-term list. And then we can prioritize, do research. Christina mentioned last meeting that probably have a $5,000 budget to work with for 2023 to do things specifically for the commission, so.
And I would ask that question of Public Works, if that would be something that we would pay for out of that budget, or if I could get that somehow covered in the street fund, possibly. I don't know, I'll have to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Get someone else to pay for it.
Yeah.
All right, so under long-range planning, because I don't know that anybody else took the same notes that I did, I'm happy to type these up and then send them to Christina. She can share them with everybody so that maybe at the next meeting, everyone will have a chance to look at them more, think a little bit more, and then even prioritize them according to what you would like to see. And then we can all share that and maybe come up with some lists of what we want to tackle first or think would have the most impact.
Well, you know that I want the museum, you know, so is there any progress? That depends on a lot of factors though, I know.
The museum.
If we we move City Hall to
Oh,
the old bank building, then
This is the museum.
then this is
Right.
the museum.
I had a pre-application meeting with someone who wanted to put a car wash there. Our requirements were quite arduous, and I haven't heard back from them. But let's circle back after the meeting, and I'll tell you some
Okay.
interesting factoids there.
Okay.
All right. But yes, if you have other thoughts for things to go on the list, we can add them and address those next month then. Anything else on long-range planning? Okay. If not, then the next would be letter to historic property owners. And since Centennial Homes is next on the agenda, I guess this would be the historic district. So
Yeah, you're in a historic district. Have you thought of putting your house on the register?
okay, so I drafted a letter just like the week after that and sent it to Christina to share with everybody. So I don't know if anybody had a chance.
I didn't get any comments back.
So no comments back from that.
Oh, I thought we were gonna just discuss it now, so. Do y'all have a copy?
I could pull it up for me. Or if Christina, if you can pull up that copy and put it on the big
It
screen.
wouldn't be the one, it would be.
I cannot do that.
Okay.
Or, let's see, do you have it in this?
Oh, this is
That's
just
what
what
it would
today's.
have come today, yeah,
Oh.
or in what you looked at today.
Wait, this is agenda.
I'm happy to read it
Okay.
and then take
Cause
comments.
you
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Okay.
I was gonna give you mine,
All right, so again, rough draft, welcome all comments, and we can also distribute this again for people to actually be able to read, make comments. So dear historic Millwood resident, Did you know that you live in a special place? The Historic District of Millwood is recognized for its unique characteristics by the National Register of Historic Places and the Washington State, and I wasn't sure the exact title of that, so left it XXX. As part of this area, you benefit from the recognition and increased property values that this inclusion provides. What you may not know is that the City of Millwood also has a local register of historic properties, and you can nominate your residence or business to be included. This also comes with recognition and a possible tax break should you need to update or renovate. City staff and members of the Millwood Historic Preservation Commission welcome your questions and would be happy to provide any assistance necessary should you wish to explore adding your place to the Millwood Register of Historic Properties. Should you also want to research ways to repair or renovate your property in a manner sensitive to the historic nature of the district in which you live, resources are available at City Hall, and more are being added all the time. Millwood has a unique history that is reflected in its buildings. Please join us in celebrating and protecting what makes this city special. Contact fill in the blank to find out more. Sincerely, Millwood's Historic Preservation Commission.
I like that.
Yeah.
I thought there were a lot of really good elements. I like the question at the beginning. I think that's kind of a grabber. You know, do you know that you live in a special place? And then specifically, why? Can we say increased property values? We benefit from the recognition of increased property values, because we can't guarantee that, right? Increased, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that could be like, okay, so I got my sticker, I got my decal, now, you know, how much more is my house worth?
Well, that's not for the decal though, right?
This is for the,
To invite them
Local
to be on the
register.
local register, but still, it could be a valid point. I was trying to get something in there that
yeah, I
that
know.
usually properties that are in a recognized historic district do benefit from higher property values. And can get a tax break too if they were to do a renovation. So but there could be a better way of saying it, for sure.
You benefit
Yeah,
What about potentially?
potential
Yeah.
potentially increased property values. Yeah, it's increased is just, I'm just struggling with that. Well, you may not know, so
and
that's another
possibly
good
adds to
grabber.
property value, or potentially, potentially something with property value.
Adds to property values.
Or even just, property value is, you know, you benefit
You
from the recognition.
Potentially increasing the property value.
You benefit from the recognition and
Yeah, just something else in there.
But I like how it's phrased about not being like you have to do things, but if you choose to do things, that we're here.
Yeah. So
Because I feel like that kind of answers people's big hanging question.
Yeah,
About why am I getting this letter? What's your motive?
recognition and, yeah.
I think it sounds way better when Chris reads it than it does when I just read it to myself. Maybe we should send it as some sort of soundbite, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it on the
Put it on the
website
website.
with the Chris reading.
Yeah.
And now, word from your sponsor.
That's
That can be the first edit. We'll pull
Yeah.
the B footage from the video.
Almost
that as a
comes with
voiceover.
recognition. And possible tax rate, should you need to update or anything. We welcome your questions. We welcome your questions, although we may not know the answer, but we'll write down your questions. Any assistance necessary? Yeah, that's just really good. Should you also want to research ways to repair, renovate, I love the sensitive to the historic nature of the district in which you live. Resources are.
It's very
available at
passive.
City Hall. Yeah,
We're here for you.
yeah.
Please.
If you're sensitive,
Yeah.
that's the opposite of insensitive.
will entertain your question.
I wrote more clout in the margin. Resources are available at City Hall and more are being added all the time. Of course, we don't really have any clout, but I just thought like maybe something that's even more encouraging like this, this information prevents some egregious errors or, not that, but the message would be, having this information will maybe help preserve the value of your historic property rather than, which basically is what you said, okay. Not threatening, but just like,
Like it helps lift the overall
yeah.
district.
Appearance of the, it being sensitive to the historic nature of the district. Or we've used the value that, in the verbiage before about consistent with the character of the neighborhood or the district in which you live or something like that. So Millwood has a unique history that is reflected in its buildings. Yeah, join us in celebrating and protecting what makes a city special, yeah. So who would they contact? Chris,
That was-
924-9.
Yeah, that was the question I had. Do you want to have them directed to us or me, or would they come to city staff?
No, I think it makes sense to have them come here.
Contact your...
Because I can provide them with the application and, maybe before we actually put it in the mail, we decide what I should be handing out. Maybe that's something for the December meeting. We could look at the application and what sort of materials we have and decide kind of what we'd want in a package to go out, and then maybe mail the letter at the first of the year.
That'd be good, January.
Get them like before their tax returns come,
Yeah, taxes are on their people's minds.
so they can, yeah.
No, I think it's charming and informative and welcoming and just really ticks all the boxes, as we say. And it does create that interest of if there's financial and information resources that you could have if you wanted them, so.
So are there minor edits? Is that what we're,
Yeah, and if, I know I was trying to gather some things to edit. I could just do one more go through, send it out one more time. Is it possible, because it's a Word document, to cut and paste it into a letterhead? That would be more official looking.
oh yeah.
So if I could do that, I'll make a few edits, send it to Christina. She can format it into the letterhead, send it out again in maybe the packet,
Okay.
that we could take one last look, December meeting.
Good. How did I miss it this time?
It was a separate email.
It was, yeah.
Tack on to the end of this discussion. I spoke with Mayor Freeman, and he is amiable to you all working on an application for his home to go on the register. He did tell me you need to do it quickly before he gets a D10 bulldozer and bulldozes it. He's been having some leaking problems, and he was joking, but,
I know a window guy.
I know.
right? I will tell you, without revealing details, that he's not in a position to do it himself right now, as far as the application process. But he did say if you all wanted to take the lead on that, and maybe, I'm spitballing here, but maybe if Bobby BC wanted to be the one who actually officially comes and presents it, as Katie had talked about, you should have someone come and present it to you all for approval when it's finally ready to come before you.
So we do the application for him, and then we give it to Bobby and then she comes and gives it to us.
Well, if you recall when we had Katie here, she
Yeah.
had talked about the conflict of interest of the commission sort of doing the application. And so I think, maybe he would come and present it, I don't know. But we need to have somebody come and make an official presentation to the commission of the application at the very least.
When it's complete.
When it's ready, yeah.
But I mean, it kind of makes sense that we've done them. you
I know, but you're not
so-
supposed to.
Okay,
We're supposed to be, we're supposed to act as a consultant
okay.
and guide as opposed to doing it ourselves.
So he would have to fill out his own application, or somebody would have to do it
But
for him.
someone would have to do it for him because he doesn't have the time to do it, but he's
Right.
open to have it done, which
So-
is something we
So
haven't had.
let's back up here a little bit. When we started this and we did the Rosebush House, Vicky obviously is very knowledgeable and had been through that process a number of times, and I think that she did the heavy lifting on her own. But when it came to Conrad, who wanted to be on there but didn't really know how to do it, that became a conversation between the commission, myself, and Katie, our consultant. And there was some back and forth between her and Bobby, with Bobby having offered to do most of the legwork for Conrad, but the consultant's opinion was that we shouldn't be doing that, and that if Bobby wanted to do that, then she should recuse herself from the commission. We did not go that way. I spoke with the mayor at that time, and he felt that as we try and get our feet under us and try to get some momentum, that it would be okay for the commission to have more of a hands-on in the application process, and that's what we did with Conrad. So that's what I'm suggesting to you, is that in this case, in order to maybe continue to build up some momentum on getting properties on the register, that we do the same thing that we did with Conrad, which was, we can help with the putting together the application, but it would be nice and it would look better if we had an outside individual come and present the application for consideration. And I just rattle off Bobby because I rattle off Bobby anytime there's something historic going on. So I don't, the mayor maybe would be willing to do that. He's just not able at this time to put the application together.
And that she's no longer on the commission makes it more
Okay,
complex.
yeah.
Right.
So would we nominate Bobby to do that?
Well, what we would
I
need
looked, she's not watching, so we can nominate her for anything.
Okay.
is going to say yes, if someone would reach out to either Bobby or Vicky or Ann. I think either of those three would be excellent people to help write it and present it if they felt comfortable. I don't know if anybody sees them regularly, that could.
Gonzaga basketball.
That's right.
So,
I
strike
did
those
see,
names.
I did see Ann at the last Gonzaga women's basketball game, and I asked her if she'd be interested in coming back on the commission, and she said no. But something like this, she might be interested in helping with research on the property. And not presenting necessarily, but doing
Right.
some of the research and pulling
Just
the
being a
information.
resource, like,
Yeah.
do you remember, blah, 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 yeah.
So any volunteers to reach out to Bobby or Vicky and ask if they'd be interested in,
I'll reach out to them.
okay.
They're not available this week, but soon, yeah.
And it doesn't have to be done right away, I'm just thinking.
No,
of-
it doesn't. But also,
Yeah.
I continue to wonder why the corner door isn't going on the register. Is that still on her list of things to do,
On
or
our list,
how long's her list?
yeah, good question.
Okay.
I'll ask.
Is the application process, is that an inhibitor for some people?
Mhm.
That it's like.
I think so.
Yeah,
So
that's
is there
my
any-
research.
Is there any way we can simplify it?
No.
No, I mean, it's fill in the blank. You fit these certain criteria, like out of these A, B, C, D, E, F, G criteria, which ones qualify it to be a historic property. Then you have to support that with stuff about the architecture, you know, just have to have evidence.
Do
of it.
people know that they can use this as a consultation
I think.
or application?
That's why we have the letter.
So we have a
What's
letter,
going on?
right. We can't write it for you, wink, wink. Yeah, so that's exactly right, that's the connection. I mean, it's not that bad, you just, you know, you go through it and just get asked a lot of questions and get as much information as you can. And then, you know, just put it in writing.
I can show you the application.
Yes.
Um,
that would be
And depending on the property, if was a contributing property to the National Register, there might also already be a little bit of history if it's been written up to be part of the walking tour.
There's some
There-
good.
places
Right, there are
to,
lots of resources.
yeah, it's
There's been
just-
published books and things, it's just gathering all that.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting though.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
what could be more appropriate than the mayor's,
right?
in the mayor's house?
Yeah.
All right, so we have a plan with the letter and
Can I ask, what's address is that?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll look.
Okay.
I think I know it, but
Are the trees, like the trees along Dalton, are those part of,
they're not protected, is that what you're asking?
yeah?
There is a tree board.
I know there's a tree board, but like, cause like gardens and things like that can be protected
Mhm.
by a historic board.
Mhm.
So like, with that, could that,
if their trees contributed to a historic nature or told a story or again, part of the criteria, right? Then they could be considered.
Because they were purposefully laid out like that by, I think by Rosebush. So, I mean, there is a story there, you know, that would be cool, to have the boulevard be a historic landmark of its own. Could you do that?
We could do a little.
I mean, here's what I know, that a lot of those trees are reaching the end of their life.
Oh, yeah.
And so in that way, they're not protected. We
Yeah.
could, in fact, just today, I met the gentleman who has been contracted by the tree board to go do the tree inventory.
Mhm.
So he is out and about doing that. I don't know how he could have picked a worse time of year. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But, you know, part of that, intention of that, I know, is to start getting a plan in place for replacement of those trees.
well, wouldn't recognizing it have, like, protect it so that way it would be, like, when the trees reach the lifetime, like, it would be a replacement rather than just
Cut it down.
cutting it down.
Mhm.
Because I think the residents would probably want that to be,
Right. Maintenance of
Yeah.
that,
so that it continues to be like a tree lined.
That I don't know. The answer to your question is 8704 East Dalton.
Maybe that could be a long-term, something that we add to the long-term is the tree. I saw a kid getting their senior portrait taken on there. I was like, oh.
I have a cool picture of the West Valley cheerleaders down there in the fall.
Oh.
Yeah, it's cool. They gave it to me a couple of years ago for the website.
Well, it's just, it's such a landmark for the neighborhood.
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, they've already replaced a couple of those trees on Dalton, haven't they, that have aged out, that were dying, and they put in new trees and like this.
I think, yes. I think they did that a number of years ago because Paul was saying that they were pretty spindly when they were put in. And, you know, they're nowhere near large enough to make an impact. And so that's why if you look at that tree that was put in, right by the King residence, by the parking strip there this year, the mayor was very specific that he wanted a larger caliper tree so that it wouldn't take quite so long to get to maturity. And I think it was Bobby who said she was looking out her window and it really did strike her that it was a bigger tree that was, and I think that's what he's wanting to aim for, is that those trees, when they do have to be replaced, are replaced with a more mature than just the little,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that it doesn't take, you know, 100 years for them to start
Yeah.
contributing to the canopy.
That's a nice tree by the Kings.
Yeah.
Well done.
All right. So next on the agenda, update on Centennial Homes Project.
We mailed that letter. We got one call. It was the gentleman who owns the strip there at Euclid and Argonne. So the Paisley Pooch, that gentleman. Yeah, he called. And I didn't speak with him, Lisa did. He said she said he seemed very enthusiastic. I left him a message and let him know that the date that I had for his building was 29, and so that he had a little ways to go. But to be honest with you, I was surprised that he was the one who called, just because not too long before that, we had one of his tenants in here complaining about something. So I've never known him to show much interest, so I thought it was interesting that he was the one that responded, but
Because he thinks it will add value.
maybe.
Progress.
That could be. So Lisa has got the mailing list though ready to go for both the historic district and then those ones that we sent the Centennial Homes to, so.
It might be kind of cute to expand the program and have it be like a silver award and a bronze award, you know, for like the 75 and the 50 year to get more involved.
Oh my God, 50. Can you imagine how many of those I'd be?
I'd be almost a 75.
Let's see. Yeah, mine'd be about due for a 75, so I'd be behind that.
I mean, but it would also look pretty cool to be walking along, you know, when you're looking at like Halloween decorations or Christmas decorations and see like all these little, you know, like,
Yeah.
Decals.
yeah, 75-year decal. What's happening in
Special-
Millwood?
Special club,
Yeah.
people with old houses.
Well, we'll just keep promoting and see if it grows from there. I mean, if I think there's interest, then it's worth pursuing. But if we've only had maybe 2 or 3 since we started this 4 months ago, then, yeah. But I do think anytime we do outreach events, you know, we'll just take the decals and we'll just keep
Plugging
bringing it
away.
up. Yeah.
Well, and also a lot of people may not know that their house, you know, they don't know necessarily.
And it could be that interactive map that we have, the dates of the properties, so they look up where their address is, and it would tell them, oh, that's when it was built. And, oh, did you know you qualify for a,
Well, and that might be
Recognition.
a project to think about with the high school students.
Yeah.
You know, just starting in the historic district and looking at each house and seeing when they were, you know, when they were built. That could be something.
yeah. All right, so last on the agenda for action items is the resource guide. And so,
No action on there.
no action on that.
But by next time, I'll keep going with it and some of the photos. I would just like to keep going with what I started, so,
Okay,
and then we'll see what you guys think.
all right, so Annie took like a first draft, 100% looked better. And then
Bigger.
Barbara volunteered to do the editing on it. So, But if there's anything else that, you know, we can do or look at before the next, just go ahead and share it the way we're sharing everything else.
Yeah, I'm excited about the pictures, finding the right pictures for that. So I just need a little time to just finish it.
Okay. Before you move on from action items, do you want to take a few minutes to just quickly look at pictures that I have? Or do you want to keep that for, you want to look at those?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do it.
So this may be a little, maybe we won't.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
That one I got from the Mac.
Do you know what year?
I don't.
So we can find it though.
now, the first one, was that the metal bridge that was before this one? Or was that a support to make? Hmm.
I don't know.
I bet we could find out though, we could do.
Yeah, it looks like
image
they're
search or
adding.
something. Bridges, just.
I like this one. Apparently I have a thing for old cars. I like that one just because of that old car.
Is this like all the trash down here?
Oh, look at that, yeah.
That's all the teenagers go down
In
there.
archaeology, they call that a midden.
A midden, yes. It's a midden. Reveals cultural things.
Let's see. These are photos that you all had hanging, so they're not anything that you haven't seen before.
It'd be so cool to do one of those like photo campaigns where you take the photo in the same spot. And I was like,
Yeah.
Oh, now look at that.
Wow, that is so cool.
That one I think I found in an old box here.
Oh my gosh.
I can't get that any bigger, but
Montes, yeah.
Oh, the Monte. Huh.
West to the church, towards the church. So is that your house, Barbara? No.
No, that it would be as far back as the church.
On that street.
Yeah.
I live there,
Yeah.
in that dirt patch.
this one wasn't taken in Millwood, but I bought it because I loved it.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute.
It said something in the description on Thor, but I liked
So
it.
it's going to Millwood.
It's going to Millwood.
That's
It's
so
on
cool.
Mill, yeah. I love it.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, back when there was parking on both sides and the rock wall was on the right side.
That would, this would be a cool mural too.
And then what does the sign say on the corner store? Does that say that it's
Here?
yeah,
It looks like Littles.
Littles, okay, so Littles 5 and dime.
I don't
wow.
know.
Oh, Carl's
Yeah,
Oh,
they
wow,
were
look at that.
Littles,
Ah.
Yeah,
Jewel box.
that's what I remember.
There's the bank,
Yeah.
something hardware, TV.
You guys are looking at the signs, I'm looking at the cars. I'm telling you, I have a thing with the cars.
Do you know if there's anything under those awnings?
Look at those old cars.
Yeah.
We should bring back those awnings.
I think so too.
You know,
Get rid of that thing that's up there now.
Yeah. Well, listen now what the pasted pooch is in there.
Yeah.
So when you take down your awning, we'll talk.
I think it's that owner, though.
Yeah, not the renter. So 1929, look how sweet. Okay, northwest, so.
Is this,
north-
are these the trees?
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, there's a baby!
Right,
Baby trees.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
it's totally changes
Yeah.
there's no shade now, but now there is. Oh, I love this one too.
Okay, now where are we? What's this white building?
This is like the apple orchard or something that was.
Steam shovel. Oh, okay.
You would have to see the shape of the mountain, see where.
Yeah.
And I can see the Buckland house and the Rosebush house.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh,
are
over
those-
there.
Yeah, here's a rose bush.
Yeah.
Gosh, not, just little bush shrubs.
Wow.
I mean, weren't there apple trees all over the valley? I wonder,
Yeah,
are those, is
the
that what
valley
those
was
are?
fruit growing,
Yeah.
cantaloupes and
Well, look how
orchards.
this looks like an orchard, so.
Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Dang it. Now I have to get back there. Hold on.
Wonder what that building in front was.
This
Yeah,
one?
that white
Yes, what
building.
would that be?
I don't know.
Looks like
It has a
it has-
facade.
Would it be on Argonne? No. No, it's too far on the other side. Where the heck is Argonne?
And it looks like it has like a mercantile.
Yeah, that's what I was
sign.
thinking too. This.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's some sort of
It
shop.
must be Euclid maybe. Wow, there weren't even streets.
That looks like a ditch.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shovel built, they built basements for people.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that's what that is though.
And there's a slope, kind of a slope there.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah,
So did that get leveled out or?
Oh, are those like drainage pipes
Yeah,
going
looks
into
like
the?
it. So that's.
Maybe it was an irrigation ditch. I know those were all over the place.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Yeah, so then what's this house, looks like, this would be Argonne though, right? It's like a block off of Argonne?
I feel like Argonne would be like right here.
Yeah, like right here.
On
Going
this side of
way,
the building.
okay.
Well, cause those are all, yeah, so cause that would all, that's the street there.
yeah, that would be Liberty, although
Mhm.
it's called something else.
It was called something else?
Yeah.
It wasn't
early on.
Liberty?
Yeah,
What was it called?
I don't remember, but.
I might be able to answer that in a minute.
Okay.
Well, we've all seen that one.
You down railroad tracks? That's what it looks like. And it looks like it's down below, or maybe it just.
Yeah, like
gives
there's a
it-
slope.
Those look like temporary tracks though. Or like, cause they're pretty shifted.
Yeah, no train's gonna.
So someone's up on the roof of some building to take that picture.
Prob-
Oh, are they on the white building?
Maybe
That we-
so.
Yeah, you see the building edge right here.
Yeah, they're on the roof just.
This was some like innovative young photographer. Time.
Daredevil.
Actually, my grandfather did a lot of the shots.
Oh, really?
Up on tops of
Wow.
the paper mill.
Wow, what foresight.
The description of this one was taken in 1913. I wish it was better.
Yeah, I think we might have it. No, we don't.
So let's see what else.
Was that the Woodard family or some? It was very early on.
Oh, these are,
Oh, that one's cool.
That's cool too. Yeah, that's.
Oh, wow.
That's one of
Chris.
Grandpa's.
What are these, what's this like car corral?
Yeah, it was a garage for them to park in.
Yeah.
At the paper
Oh,
mill?
wow.
Yeah,
I love it.
Class.
paper mill. And I think Grandpa took that one from the roof of the paper mill.
Oh, wow.
What is the,
Okay, see,
This side.
those windows is what, these ones right here,
yeah,
they're, see, those ones are even, it has like, this looks like plywood up here too, like, those are all boarded up.
I don't think that's boarded up. That's painted black now, isn't it?
yeah,
Because this would be bottles right here.
right.
I know,
So this is the Masonic Temple.
So just an architectural.
Yeah,
detail.
I think so.
But
like the
yeah, if it's-
storefronts painted on them.
Or if it's wood or.
I know, it
stone.
looks like wood. Oh, but
So
it
that
looks,
was the thing.
no, it does, you're right, it
It's-
matches the stone up
yeah.
there, yeah.
Yeah,
Wasn't that the bank at that corner? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it says bank, okay.
yeah. And on the main floor, it showed there were two windows that were the bank, and now it's flat across, but you can see the third window
Okay.
over, there was a door there.
Here?
Yeah,
it
that
goes
was a
in.
door, and then
Yeah.
it had a slanted, angled glass
Yeah.
on either side of the door. And now it's flat, but you can't tell from the brickwork that there was ever an entrance there. They really fitted in there very well. But when I was little, we would go to ballet class and we'd go in that door.
Cute.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that would be so great if there was a dance
There-
studio.
There was.
There needs to be again.
Yeah,
Well, there was on the corner.
there was
but they
for
moved
many
it.
years.
She became very successful and left Millwood.
No,
So
see,
what was the
that,
name of
that
it?
needs
Do you
to not
remember the name of
happen.
it? It's where the art place is now. That was all,
Right on the corner.
Northwest
yeah,
Dance
Northwest
Studio
Ballet
or something
or
like
something.
I,
They
oh,
moved
dang
up
it.
Toward Wandermere.
No, I think they're still in the valley somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not
there, there is a dance studio.
Cold.
These again, I think are just photocopies. I would imagine the history enthusiasts have maybe better ones of this stuff.
Yeah, I think we have a copy of that one that's better.
Those tiny trees, more tiny trees.
It gives you hope for all the new neighborhoods they've built in the last few years with their tiny trees.
Yeah. Housing developments.
I love
I
that
know
one.
that building.
Yeah, there's the
Yeah.
corner door.
And I,
Is that house like still?
No, it got moved.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, used to be right where the corner door was, and then they moved it back. So it's actually the oldest building in Millwood.
That house?
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's an apartment.
it's apartments, yeah.
it's just not the oldest location.
It's like kind of behind where Rocket Bakery is now? Is that where it is?
No, it's still right there, behind the corner door.
Oh, it's not, oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, the end part of it would go back as far as the
That would be
Rocket Bakery
cool to
parking
put
lot.
on the plaque in front of the house. Oldest house.
oldest house.
Yeah.
Well, what got moved? There was a two-story building that got moved.
Mhm.
Which one was that?
Well, it's the apartment building that's behind the corner door, right across the alley.
Right. Oh, look at that, under construction.
Wow. That is just crazy.
I wish I could get it.
Oh, wow.
So this must be that white building maybe that we saw in that other one.
Yeah, because that's the roof line there.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow. That was gonna be so-
Oh, the stonework around the
Yeah.
center, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So so those are sidewalks. What is happening here? What is this ditch?
I don't know, it's not like they're paving the road or.
Utilities or something?
Yeah,
like
some
that?
sort of underground.
I wanna know what that machine is.
There's another one on the,
George W. Brown building.
cars are super cute.
They are.
I cropped that one for something. We've already seen that.
Standard.
Gasoline. So this was a gasoline, so that was a garage, so is that
Where's garage?
building?
That was
And now it's-
Shell Station.
Look
Is
at that
the barber
car.
shop now?
Well, that was standard, yeah, that's a barber shop, and then, the Shell station where
It
the,
was a Shell Station.
where the, that restaurant is.
Okay.
That was the new gas station.
Bottles surprised me. It was a lot cooler than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, they've done a nice job with that.
The big-
Oh my gosh, look at this little, like.
I love that
race
car.
God, imagine just tooling around in those old vehicles all around nowhere.
The windows in the Masonic building upstairs were so nice. I wonder if those windows are still behind where they boarded up.
They're
Yeah,
not.
well, we've been
They're not.
They're
having
not
that
there.
conversation.
What happened to them? Why did they take those out?
Maybe that could be a project to put them back.
I feel like I'm missing a good picture of the bank that I purchased from someone.
Nineteen 1923 sewer and home construction. Wow, that's 100 years ago. There's Spokane Valley State Bank.
I bought a picture of the Masonic Temple building as the bank, and the sheriff's car is sitting in front of it. It's really cool, and I keep closing myself out. And I'm sure I organized these exactly how I thought.
Wow.
That looks like argon was dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
My
does.
mom learned to drive when she was 12 on argon. The dirt road.
Oh, wow, that's pretty, oh, look at the entrance.
Yeah.
Those are still there. That's on Empire.
Uh-huh.
Those stone towers.
These?
Oh.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're still there. That stone fence is still there. That's from Mount Paper Mill?
Yeah, before it was a brick building, it was a wood building.
I don't know where I got this.
Oh, that's so cool.
Keep this card handy to your phone.
Yeah. I can remember hearing on the day of the big fire, the wailing of the whistle. Everybody rushing down to help work on the fire.
This isn't very good.
There's just big fields of nothing. You know, so much building, yeah. Oh, look at the girls.
Yeah. And we might have a better copy of that. That looks a lot, I think that's more grainy than what we have. There's another picture of the inside of that vintage that shows a lot of the workers were barefoot. working on the main
What?
street in that dangerous
Oh
environment.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Was it because shoes were too expensive, or it was
Maybe.
just?
Yeah, they didn't have to require, safety equipment
Those
then.
steel toes then.
We got that, we have a better picture of that and that.
Are they just selling paper off the truck?
They were showing the size of a reel.
I really want to find that one of the bank. I keep clicking on miscellaneous and it's just not there. Oh, these are not old.
Well, we can, when you find that, you can share.
Yes, I will email it to you or something. Okay.
All right. Well, the next on the item is staff report. So, Christina, do you have anything to share?
I think you just did it.
So really, the only thing that's been going on for the last couple weeks has been the water. We lifted the boil order today. I am happy to report that almost everyone who called here, and there were hundreds of phone calls, was nice. Very few people who were not nice. Also, everybody thinks they live in Millwood.
Yeah, Millwood West.
Yeah.
East.
Greater Millwood.
I just got the notice of the boil order. I believe I'm in Millwood. What's your address? 223 North Barker. Nope. We got calls as far away as Loon Lake.
Oh, my God.
Those Californians.
Yeah, right. So in case you didn't hear, we finally determined that the contamination was coming through a faulty vent on the top of the water tower. So the water tower has been isolated off and emptied, and repairs are going to take place there. Our guys are back on the leaf patrol, but that's always weather permitting. So if you have leaves, get them out there as soon as possible because you never know when we might have to switch those trucks over. Planning Commission is working on the park plan. Did you all, I think did I email you all the survey to fill out on that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
And Lisa also followed up with a phone call to remind us to take the surveys.
That's right.
Let's see. I had some things from our last meeting. Let's see. I guess maybe the only thing left that had been asked Annie by you, I think, at the last meeting was where does the money come for capital projects? So I asked Debbie. It's what's ever left over after the bills are paid.
Yeah.
And then also we have had for the past couple of years some ARPA funds that we've been using for different, those were the coronavirus funds.
ARPA?
American Rescue, something, yeah. The council did approve the improvements to the audio-visual system in here, so these microphones will be going away. We have to have a system that will allow people to actually comment from home. And so there will be additional cameras and additional capabilities in here. They approved that at the last council meeting. And the only other thing that might directly affect you all is if the budget's approved as it's presented right now, and I have no reason to believe that it won't be, Lisa will be moving downstairs to work for Public Works and Finance, and I will be getting a new assistant upstairs. Because we changed the hours of City Hall from 8 to 5 to 8 to 4 permanently, that leaves me some extra hours that I can use to have someone here. So Lisa herself already comes to council and planning commission and does the minutes and stuff for that. But I will also be having that person come to our meeting and take over that stuff too. So that'll give us a little bit more manpower for different things that we want to take on. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else to, all I've been thinking about for weeks has been bad water, so I just don't even. But if you have any questions, I can answer those.
All right, any questions? None, you're off the hook.
Thank you.
Yay. All right, any remarks from commissioners? All right, hearing none.
Oh,
Oh.
I don't remember if I had mentioned this to you or not. Comprehensive plan amendments. We did not get any applications this year. So I know that in years past, the last time we had the comp plan amendments that affected the historic district, in the wake of that, we decided that you all would become a reviewing body for that. Just to let you know that the deadline for application for those was November 1st, and we didn't get any. So we won't be going through that process this year.
All right, so our next meeting is scheduled for December 15th. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I motion.
To adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Okay, I want to tell you one thing.